Right, so today there is a lot of stuff to go over, so I'm going to get right into it. As far as the cases go from yesterday, Canada is up to 1,959, which is up about 400 cases, which is quite a bit, up to 25 dead. In Alberta, we're up 57, which is up from 42 yesterday and 33 the day before, and I think about 35 the day before that. So we are trending up a little bit, which is not a good sign whatsoever. We do have the second confirmed death. So this isn't looking too good, but like it's like I mentioned yesterday too. The problem with this thing is that, like I say, it can take up to 2 weeks. Most of the time, within a week, from what I've heard, you'll show symptoms, you'll be able to test positive for it. So the problem with it is that the tests that we're getting in right now, for example, these 57 new, these are people that probably had it since, I don't know, March 20th, 19th ish was probably roughly when they got it, maybe even the day before. So we're really testing the cases that are coming in now are probably cases that people came down with about a week ago. So that's the problem with this kind of stuff is although, like I say, the data may not look too bad at this point, we're a week behind what's really going on because the cases of people that get it today, March 25th, are probably not people that are going to show they're not going to show symptoms for another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So it's not going to be till April 1st, last day of March before they go in and get test positive for it. So that's why we still have to be very on the look and not get too confident with this kind of stuff. Um, we look into Alberta more here. The death was in the Calgary zone. Calgary's up to 214 cases. Edmonton 86, is 28 in the central, 8 in the south, 20 in the north. And then we're up to 32,418 negatives, 358 positives. So like I say, the it's still a very low percent. I mean, obviously these are all people that suspect that they could have had it, and yet maybe 1.5% of them actually tested positive for it. So the chances of having it, if you think you may, I mean, if the symptoms are really bad, yeah, you probably have it. But if it's just typical cold symptoms, nothing too out of the ordinary, you probably don't have it. But like I say, if you're someone who's younger, very healthy, have a strong immune system, honestly, I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying this is what I would do. I don't think I would go get. I don't think I would go in because you're number one, you're risking infecting other people, and number two, if you have a very strong immune system, the chances of dying are literally like 1 in 1,000. So obviously if you start to feel really bad, like having the bad symptoms, yeah, go in. But like I'm saying, this is just what I would do. I'm not saying anyone else should do this. You do what you want. I'm not going to tell people to do anything because I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying what I would do. um, Anyway, let's talk about some other stuff. The CBC was publishing fake news yesterday, and I mean a lot of other Canadian media outlets, as long as a bunch of American ones too. And this was the story of Trump saying that he wanted people to take this kind of stuff, and someone took that a little bit out of context and drank some fish tank cleaner, which is a similar, actually I think a very similar compound, but it's not the exact same. So this person took it, died, and the media is blaming Trump because they say that, oh, Trump said that people should take it when he said that it's a promising new drug that could help people cure this thing. And the CBC reported it, and it took them about a day to take it down. Finally, I just checked. I checked just now, and they finally took it down. And this was up for I think almost a day. And we knew as of the time they put it up that it was fake news. We knew that beyond a shadow of a doubt. We knew the instant that it was beyond a shadow of a doubt. So anybody who reported that was publishing fake news, and CBC did that. So CBC is absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible. The fact that they get over $1 billion a year is absolutely insane of taxpayer money, like an absolute disgrace. Like I don't even have words to get into it. But for all the people that still anyone out there still trust them, they published blatant fake news. Like, couldn't be any more blatant. And like I say, even at the time they published it, we knew. It's not like we didn't know it until after we knew. So I just wanted to point that out. This is from Josh Hawley, who is, I believe, a senator or a congressman from the States. Yeah, senator. Anyway, he said, "Today I will introduce a resolution calling for full investigation of China's Communist Party's lies and actions that killed thousands of their own people, turned the you know what outbreak into a global pandemic." And that's something that absolutely should happen. And it's not like we don't know. Like, we know that China effed up royally on this stuff. So I mean, it's not like there's a lot to investigate, but I think that the extent that they are responsible for this is still a little bit up in the air. So that's something that would be really nice to see. This is from Buck Sexton. The number of psycho libs who go from "why don't you care more about the people" to "I hope you and your family get you know what" in the blink of an eye is pretty amazing. Must be fun to go through life so self-righteous, vicious, and stupid all at once. And it's very true. I thought this was a good tweet because it's true. Like, I've heard of multiple, I think, Americans. There was a someone from Washington State that was a big liberal. I think it was Nancy Pelosi's daughter. That the one person said, we should go to Trump rallies. If you're infected, go to Trump rallies and intentionally infect people. Rand Paul got it, I think, a couple days ago, and it was, I don't quote me on it, but I think it was Nancy Pelosi's daughter that was tweeting that she was happy about it, and supporting violence. That Rand Paul was attacked by a vicious liberal. I mean, not that this happens all the time. Um, Rand Paul was attacked by this vicious liberal. I don't know if it was a neighbor or a person that just got his address, and Nancy Pelosi's daughter was basically condoning that and saying how great it was. And I think Twitter finally, that they'll take down someone on the right's tweets for misgendering someone, but when you outright call for violence against someone on the right, it takes mass outcry and tens of thousands of retweets before you get banned. So that's a good thing. And the last thing I wanted to talk about here is actually one of the more important things. Um, this is from Ezra Levant. So Canada shipped our entire national stockpile of protective gear to China last month. I don't know if it was our entire stockpile, but it was a lot of stuff. It was like 15 tons of stuff, like an insane amount of stuff. As a bizarre form of foreign aid charity from Trudeau, and now China bans the sale of emergency equipment to Canada. Thanks, commies, and thanks, Trudeau. That if this gets bad, it's going to get really bad because we're low on medical. I mean, everyone's low on medical supplies, and thanks to Justin Trudeau, he gave a bunch of it to China because he's a commie. I mean, I don't even think it's a joke anymore. I literally think Justin Trudeau is a commie loving guy. Like, I'm not saying he's a full on communist, but I think he has very strong sympathies towards communism, like very strong. And the fact that he said that China is the country that he admires most, like, is it really a question anymore? Like, how can people deny that? It's absolutely insane to deny that. Um, but anyway, this is what I wanted to talk about for today. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not looking good as far as the last few day trend is for Alberta and Canada. So hopefully we can get that under control. And like I say, I'm going to be putting on a second video again today, so stay tuned for that. And at the very least, I'm going to leave it there. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do have my PayPal linked in the description. I do have an email address for e-transfer. I appreciate any donations. But at the very least, just hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already.